Paddington was released in 2014 in a lot of countries, and in some countries it was released in 2015, and it was directed by Paul King. It tells the story of a bear named Paddington who has the ability to walk and talk and is transferred from the jungle to the big city of London. And while he's in the Paddington train station, he ends up meeting the Brown family, who decide to adopt him and have him as part of the family. However, while this is going on, there's a taxidermist who wants to kill Paddington so she can add him to her collection. So the Paddington movies, I'm finally getting around to reviewing them. I had been told by two of my good friends, Tig and Darrett, that the first two movies are said to be very good, and I've also heard from lots of people that they're said to be brilliant movies. This is going to shock, I think, pretty much everyone. I had never seen these movies before. This is my first time watching them, and with the third movie on the way, I decided, you know what, now is the perfect time to catch up on the first two movies, and I will hopefully get to see the third movie when it comes out and review it. And I will review the second one as soon as I get to see it. So, after watching the first movie for the first time, I watched it last week because it was leaving Netflix in the UK and Ireland. And after watching it for the first time, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. This movie really did impress me. I have to say, it's actually even better than I expected. And I think as the course of the story as it goes along, the movie actually gets even better, I'd say. One thing I was very impressed with was the direction and the execution of the cliches. I feel the story, it's incredibly cliche. Mr. Brown is not exactly tolerant of Paddington being a bear. He's not exactly happy with him being in the house, bonding with the family at first. He's not happy that with his son Jonathan, thinking that it's really cool when Paddington's pretty much sliding down the stairs, and then he doesn't want his son, basically copying Paddington's antics. You also got the taxidermist that pretty much wants to, well, kill Paddington so she can add his head to her collection. When I say it like that, my god, it sounds like I'm describing the plot of Madagascar 3. It's very cliche, but I think what really impressed me was the execution and the direction. The way it was executed was so much fun, so much charm, and just so much wit to it. It's a very funny and charming movie. I was really impressed with the execution of the story. There's so much charm to this movie, and a lot of it goes to the relationship of Paddington and his family. It's the heart of the movie. It's so well done and very well written. It's a very memorable story, I'd say, and there's not a lot for me to say other than the storyline. It's really funny. A lot of the jokes are hilarious, especially the one with Miss Bird in the climax that had me laugh my ass off. It's just a very charming, very witty, funny, and heartwarming movie. And I have to say, the storyline is very good and the direction really did impress me. Another thing that really impressed me were the visuals. The cinematography, some shots of London, especially you see the night ones in the beginning of the movie, some shots in the movie look absolutely beautiful, and that really took me by surprise. For a movie that came out, pretty much 10 years ago in a lot of countries, and for some countries 9 years ago, it's just aged so well on a visual level. Visually, the movie looks absolutely fantastic. The locations are stunning, the cinematography is absolutely amazing, and there's a lot of great colours as well. So I have to say, visually, the movie looks great. And the acting is very good. A lot of the actors, you can tell, are having a ball playing these characters. They really own the characters, I think. And I just think overall the cast do an excellent job playing the characters. And the movie's characters are great. They're very well written. Paddington is a very lovable protagonist. It's great seeing him learn how to adapt to the human world and how he learns to accept his new family. And he really does bring in the heart of the movie. His relationship with the family is really, really nice. The Browns are great characters too. Mr. Brown is a very well written character and his journey in the movie is very well written. It's cliche, yes, but the execution of it is very good. Miss Brown is pretty good too. It's great seeing her bounce off with the family, and the kids, Jonathan and Judy, are pretty good characters too. It's just so nice seeing them all bond with Paddington. And the bond they have is just really, really nice. And Miss Bird is absolutely hilarious. She's really funny in the movie. I don't really have much of an opinion on the villain Millicent, other than I think she's pretty good. She has some funny moments, but I just don't really have a lot to say about her as I do with the other characters. But I think she's a decent villain. I do feel some characters are not quite as memorable as the ones I just mentioned, like the guy that does be with the taxidermist. I feel he's good, but I just felt a lot of the other characters are just a bit forgettable, I'd say. Well, maybe not entirely forgettable, but just
Not as interesting and not as memorable or as compelling as the main ones, but still, they serve their purpose just enough, and they're still good enough, I'd say. The music of the movie is very good too. It adds to the movie, it adds to the experience, and it really fits the movie's tone, I'd say. I'm happy to say I'm very glad I got around to giving this movie a chance because I have to say I really, really enjoyed it.
Overall, Paddington is a really nice movie. A very good story, great performances, likable characters, and very nice music. I'm very glad that I got around to watching it, as I'm happy to give Paddington a 9 out of 10.
So that's it for my review of the original Paddington. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next review. And until then, guys, let me know what you guys think of the movie in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone. Mind yourselves. And until then, skidoosh, everyone.